Hello friends, welcome to our RV YouTube channel. In this session 9 of part 2, we are going to discuss about the single phase fully controlled rectifier FET separately excited DC motor drive under continuous conduction mode. So let us make a small recap of the previous session, in which when our firing angle alpha is less than 90 degrees, that means the firing angle alpha range is 0 to 90 degrees, we got our output voltage as positive Vs. That means here output voltage is positive and current also as positive value. Therefore we got our operation in the first quadrant. Okay, Va and Ia both are positive, voltage is also positive here and current is also positive, therefore first quadrant called forward motoring. And while our firing angle is greater than 90 degree, okay, that means the range of the firing angle ranges between 90 degrees to 180 degrees. What happened was our output voltage was minus of the input voltage, therefore your input voltage is negative. Output voltage is negative. Here armature output voltage we obtained as minus of the supply voltage, that means our output voltage became negative. Therefore here our output voltage is negative and the current is positive, therefore it lies on the fourth quadrant called reverse regenerative braking. Here the voltage is negative, see here voltage is negative and the current is positive. So voltage is negative here and the current is positive on this side, therefore it comes under the fourth quadrant called reverse regenerative braking. So here in this fourth quadrant what happens is, as here the voltage is becoming negative, right? That means the average output voltage of the rectifier or the armature voltage of the motor becomes the negative. So when the armature voltage becomes negative, the polarity of the induced EMF also will become negative, because the polarity of the induced EMF depends on the armature voltage. So when this polarity of this induced EMF is changed, automatically the direction of the speed will also changes. Okay. So when the polarity of the induced EMF changes, the direction or the rotation of the motor also changes. So now let us enter into the today's session called mathematical analysis. So this is the output voltage which we see here. This is the output voltage which we obtained in the previous session. So now let us do the mathematical analysis of this waveform. So here now let us derive the output voltage Va. So here we are able to produce two pulses. See here one pulse and here one pulse for a one full cycle from alpha to 2 pi plus alpha. We are able to produce, this from alpha to 2 pi plus alpha is one full cycle. Okay, alpha to 2 pi plus alpha is one full cycle. So under this one full cycle we are able to produce two pulses. See here, this is pulse number 1 and this is pulse number 2. So we are able to produce two pulses over a period of one full cycle called 2 pi. Integration of the lower limit is alpha and the upper limit is pi plus alpha, because the conduction stops at where? Pi plus alpha. The conduction of this thyristor T1 T4 starts at alpha and the conduction of this thyristor T1 T4 stops at pi plus alpha. Upper limit is pi plus alpha. So this is nothing but, this output voltage is nothing but the replica of the input voltage we had. Therefore Vs d of omega t. And here Vs is nothing but, in this we have used input voltage as the AC voltage because it is a rectifier. So rectifier needs an AC input voltage. So here we took single phase AC input voltage. So Vs is nothing but Vm sin omega t. So let this be equation 1 and let this be equation 2. Now substitute this 2 in 1, we will get Va is equal to, here 2 and 2 will get cancelled with each other, therefore it is 1 by pi integration of alpha to pi plus alpha, and after substituting equation 2 we will get Vm sin omega t d of omega t. So what happens is, VA is equal to, take Vm outside and Vm by pi. If you integrate this sin omega t, you will get minus cos omega t, because integration of sin omega t is nothing but minus cos omega t, and lower limit is alpha and upper limit is pi plus alpha. So now apply the limits. VA is equal to Vm by pi. First let us apply the upper limit, minus cos of pi plus alpha. While applying the lower limit, we have to add a minus, and minus of, here we have minus cos omega t. See here, it is of minus cos omega t. Therefore minus cos omega t is nothing but the lower limit is alpha. So alpha. And here cos of 180 plus theta is equal to minus cos theta. Okay. Therefore what happens is VA is equal to Vm by pi minus cos here what it is, cos of 180 plus theta is minus cos theta. Therefore minus, and here this see, this minus is this minus, cos of 180 plus theta is minus cos theta again. Therefore this will become plus, because minus into minus. Here already we have one minus, and in the formula also we are going to have another one minus. So minus to minus, it becomes plus here. Therefore theta is nothing but here our alpha. Therefore cos alpha, and here again minus into minus becomes plus cos alpha. Therefore our VA is equal to cos alpha plus cos alpha becomes 2 cos alpha. Therefore 2 Vm by pi cos alpha. So let this be equation 3. Okay. So according to the equation 3, it is nothing but VA is equal to 2 Vm by pi cos alpha. Okay. So for a DC motor, here we are dealing with DC motors, right? So for a DC motor, the voltage and the current equation is VA is equal to E plus IA RA. Okay, let this be equation 4. And induced EMF of a DC motor is E is equal to K into omega M. So let this be equation 5. And for a DC motor, torque is equal to K into IA. From this equation, you can write IA is equal to what? T by K. So let this equation be 6. So now let us substitute equation 3, 5 and 6 in equation 4. So what will you get? Instead of VA, here we have to substitute this third equation, 2 Vm by pi cos alpha. So 2 Vm by pi cos alpha, which is equal to instead of E you have to substitute K omega M, plus instead of IA you have to substitute T by K RA. Therefore here you will get 2 Vm by pi cos alpha minus T by K RA. I mean bringing this T by K RA into the left hand side, this side. So minus T by K RA, which is equal to K omega M. So from this we will get omega M is equal to, I mean you have to divide this entire equation by this K. Okay. Therefore omega M is equal to 2 Vm by pi K cos alpha minus T by K. Here there is one K and this K will also come here. So K into K will become K square into RA. So this is our speed torque equation of a single phase fully controlled rectifier fed separately excited DC motor drive under continuous conduction. Okay, this is our speed torque relation. Okay, our speed torque equation for single phase fully controlled rectifier. FCR represents fully controlled rectifier fed DC motor drive for continuous conduction mode. CCM means continuous conduction mode. So now let us draw the speed torque characteristics based on this equation. So as we started our session 9 part 1, we said that our main aim is to control the speed of the DC motor drive using the rectifier. See here, if we observe this equation 7, this speed depends on the value of this firing angle alpha. So what it means, if you want to control the speed, that means if you want to increase or decrease the speed of a DC motor, you can increase or decrease the value of the firing angle. That means if you are able to control this value of firing angle alpha, we will be able to control the speed of this DC motor. So this is the basic idea which is used in power electronics based DC drives. Okay. So now let us draw the speed torque characteristics of this. Speed omega m and torque T. So we know that a typical speed torque characteristics of a DC motor is almost a straight line with a little drooping characteristics. As our torque increases, the speed is decreasing. So here this is our value of the speed initially. So let us assume that this is for our alpha is equal to 0 degrees. Now our aim is to control the speed. That means now I'm intended to, for some reasons, I want to reduce the speed of this DC motor drive. So what happens is, if I want to reduce this speed of this DC motor drive, I have to increase the firing angle alpha. So now let me increase the firing angle alpha. So when I increase this firing angle alpha, our speed will decrease. So from here to it will decrease somewhere here. Okay. So now this firing angle alpha is maybe something like 60 degrees. I am increasing from 0 degrees. So for firing angle alpha is equal to 90 degrees. So still it decreases. Speed from here to here still it decreases. Okay. And alpha greater than 90 degrees. Okay. As we saw in the previous session, when alpha becomes greater than 90 degree, what happens? Our armature voltage becomes negative, right? So when our armature voltage becomes negative, our speed also, the polarity of the induced EMF also changes. Therefore, the direction of the speed also changes, right? So whenever our alpha is greater than 90 degree, our speed torque characteristics, that means will go into the fourth quadrant. Am I right? So whenever our alpha is greater than 90 degree, our operation will be in the fourth quadrant. So here it is fourth quadrant. So and again the from 90 degrees to 180 degrees it is increased. Therefore, the speed will decrease from this point to somewhere here. So this is for alpha is equal to 120 degrees and so on. Okay. So this is how, when the firing angle alpha is increased, okay, alpha is increased, the speed is decreased. So this is how the speed of a DC motor can be controlled by means of using a single phase fully controlled rectifier, which operates on two quadrants called first quadrant of forward motoring and the fourth quadrant called reverse regenerative braking. Thank you.